Hello everyone, I'm Emelena and this is Josh, and today we're going to be talking about how me having schizoaffective disorder or symptoms of psychosis affects our relationship. And this is a topic that a friend of mine asked me about a long time ago. Like, she was saying, like, how much does it, affect your relationship? And the thing is that it affects it, like, all the time. It is a near constant thing. It is something that I have to keep on top of, and Josh has to be careful what he says and how he deals with me. And it results in me feeling a lot of guilt and shame because I feel that it's my fault. Any problems we have, I blame myself, even when they're not necessarily my fault, because I feel like my reaction or the way that I take things may be wrong. I have suffered from delusional thinking in the past, which has definitely affected our relationship. And today I just wanted to talk to Josh and have him share a little bit of insight with you about how he handles it and, how he feels about living in a relationship with someone who has psychosis. So the first question I'm going to ask is, how did you feel when you first found out I was schizoaffective?
I didn't really think anything of it, really. Like, I've known a few people throughout the years who I would assume were schizophrenic.
Oh yeah, that's right. You had a roommate that was.
Yeah. Like, wasn't diagnosed, but it just seemed like it. And so I was kind of like already used to how it was when it could be like really bad, and I could tell like it wasn't nearly that bad with her. So I was just like, okay, it's whatever.
According to doctors, I'm a pretty mild case. And you can have a mild case of this, by the way. Like, a lot of people think schizophrenia, schizoaffective, and bipolar, it has to be extreme and severe. You can have mild cases of it. And I've actually read online that when you have schizophrenia and a mood disorder, which is schizoaffective, that it actually seems to be easier to treat and manage. So I thought that was very interesting, because your first thought would be that, oh, it's two things,
right, so
it must be worse. But actually, it seems easier to manage symptoms. And another thing is, Josh and I met in a Facebook group that the nicest way to put it is that it attracted mentally ill people. So when he and I met, for him, it was probably just a question of, what does she have? Like, for reals, right? Because everybody in there was mentally ill. And I'm trying to be very nice about this, because the way that people acted in there was unhinged as fuck. When suffering through symptoms, do you feel confident about helping me through it? I am reading off something right here, just so you guys know. Like, I didn't have all this memorized. Josh is sort of on the spot, so yeah. Do you feel confident about helping me through when I'm suffering through symptoms?
Well, I used to not, because like I didn't know what to do. But now that I have like proven methods that as long as I just keep up with them enough, it will work eventually. So I do feel confident now.
And are there any symptoms that, there's no real nice way to put this, that you fear or resent the most? Some symptoms that like I know that when I used to think you were replaced by a robot or a clone, that had to be pretty harrowing, especially since I didn't tell him about this delusion for a while. So I would just be a bitch sometimes for no reason, and he didn't understand. And then when I finally came out and explained to him what I was thinking and feeling, he was like, wow, everything makes sense now. So is there anything that you like, is there something like a symptom that you're just like, I really hope that never comes back?
Yeah, like so there was times when you were when you would be like straight up like, I don't think you're real, or something like that.
Oh my god, right?
So
oh my god,
I mean, that wasn't that bad, to be honest.
Really?
I would say the worst was just being a bitch over nothing.
Right. And the thing was I was being a bitch because I didn't think he was who he said he was. So I just thought it was okay to be a bitch.
Yeah, right.
And like, I'm so glad we resolved that. And thankfully, it's been years since that's really went down. And I have confidence that it probably will never come back now that I take my antipsychotics and I'm on top of my mental health. Okay. And what are some methods that you use to help me in a crisis?
Well, so recently with the anxiety, it's basically like holding your hand, telling me everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah, my favorite.
I'll give a back rub.
Also my favorite.
Yeah, sometimes like even like head pats or like or just massaging the back of her neck and stuff.
And they're just telling me everything will be okay, everything
Yeah.
will work out, assuring me that my breathing's okay and things like that. Because when I was suffering through the anxiety, I was like, check my pulse, hurry,
right.
please check my pulse, like over and over and over again. I'd be like, am I breathing okay? Can you watch me sleep and make sure I don't suffocate in my sleep? Make sure I don't sleep on my back because I don't want sleep paralysis. And that's an ongoing thing, actually.
Yeah.
Like, that's still, I mean, just last night I had horribly interrupted sleep because I woke up every hour. Oh my God, I'm dying. And Josh would like wake up right beside me. Even though he'd be in a dead sleep, he'd wake up and be like, it's okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're going to be all right. Like, I swear he's got that like trained down. Like, everything's going to be okay, babe. So specifically when you deal with like symptoms where I think you're not real, or when I'm hearing voices and not answering questions the way I should, keeping to myself, what are some methods that you use to try and get me out of my shell and help me out?
So a lot of like the thinking I'm not real, I basically just try to prove that I'm real by like saying that like I am real, or if there's like a question you ask me, I'll tell the truth and just don't change my answer.
That as long as he's consistent with his answers, that seems to help, and it does.
Yeah, because well, I mean, you don't want anything to sound like a lie, obviously.
Right. So one thing I noticed is that something that doesn't really affect Josh, because he doesn't care, is when I have like flat affect, or when I don't like have like super emotional responses to thing and I'm just neutral. I was reading something where this woman was saying that she has flat affect and it affects her husband. Like, he'll be like, what's wrong? Are you mad at me? And like, Josh doesn't give a shit. Like, it doesn't bother him at all. Like, if I'm just neutral about things, I doubt you even notice, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think neutral is everyone's default. So
yeah. See, and I'm really lucky in that way that he doesn't get his feelings hurt, because sometimes I'll just be like, like he'll ask me a question, I'll be like, I don't know, and it's like a question that needs an answer. Like, hey, do you want to do this or this first? I don't know.
I mean, that's probably the autism, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, Josh is autistic, and I read somewhere that autistic people and schizophrenics seem to get along really well, I guess. It's just some random shit I read online, right? And I feel like that really, our relationship really works out because Josh has autism and I mean, I don't know, it's not because, but it's like, we understand each other really well, wouldn't you say?
Well, yeah, also, autistic people tend to just speak plainly. Mm-hmm. So if it's done to them, it's just like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any advice for people who have a partner with psychosis?
The main one is not get mad. You'll probably get frustrated sometimes, but, I mean, I'm pretty sure it'll be easy enough to not yell at them. And that's more what I mean. Don't be purposely mean, which should be easy if you love the person. Other than that, like I said, yeah, consistent answers,
and being logical.
Yeah.
Josh's main defense against any delusion is being logical. Like, one thing is he doesn't like endorse my delusions. He doesn't like sit there and be like, yeah, that's true. But he's not mean to me about it. He'll just tell me like, this doesn't add up with reality. Like, logic dictates that this cannot be true. And it's pretty helpful, honestly.
Yeah. You just need to make sure you explain yourself very well.
And, like, be understanding. Like, one thing Josh does is he's like, I understand that this is the way you're perceiving things, but the reality is this. And he's not mean about it. He's not rude. He's not harsh. He's just like, Melissa, that's not how things work, right?
Yeah, that's another important thing. Don't say anything that sounds like it could be gaslighting.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
That's a big one. I almost forgot about that.
That is a big one, yeah. Yeah, like gaslighting your partner when they're having hallucinations. Because the thing is like, when you're having like a delusion, it might feel like you're gaslighting other people. Like, to them, their perspective might be that you're gaslighting them because of the delusion, right? But Josh has found really good methods of working around it by just being logical and being comforting without being harsh or mean or rude. And it's really helpful, honestly. Like,
yeah, focus on your wording a lot.
Like, when you are mentally ill, a lot of your mental illness affects the people around you. And having a support group, or like, not a support group necessarily, but a support system, family members and friends who are around you that are there to like take care of you and comfort you and be there for you no matter what, even in the darkest of times, is extremely important. And it's like, I think it was my favorite singer who said that like his wife was the best medicine. And that's how I feel. I feel that Josh is like the best medicine for me, as well as taking my antipsychotics, working out, eating healthy, and making sure I get enough fresh air and things like that. But having a supportive partner who really gives a fuck about you and your health and your well-being and isn't harsh or mean or judgmental, but just tries to make you as comfortable and as happy as possible is so important. When you say,
no, yeah,
like, and the same thing for Josh when he goes through dark times and he's having a hard time, like me being there for him really helps him. And I've noticed a change in how he reacts to things now ever since we've been together, and we've been really open and more communicative. Because the thing is we used, for the first couple of years, things were really rough, but now we communicate really well. Like, there's very little to no yelling or screaming or any kind of arguments really that break out because we communicate about those things head on, and I think that really helps. So that's about it for today. I just wanted to talk about like that because people have asked me about it before, and I thought it would be an interesting topic to share with you guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you. And that's about it. Have a good day or night wherever you are. Stay hydrated. And well, that's what I say at the end of my streams. You know, I tell people to stay hydrated. But thank you for watching.